Okay, so no matter what class you're enrolled in, for me, starting in the fall 2020 semester, I'm going to switch to something called Discord for our real time communication needs. So, because you have different ways to communicate with me, either through the inbox here in Canvas, or as you'll hear later, I actually run a Zoom office hour. So you'll hear more about that as I set up that schedule. But for real time communications, and why is this important? It's because I've noticed that students um, like to be able to ask a question and get an answer if somebody's available. Now, that somebody may be me or it may be one of your classmates, because I've noticed that your schedules and mine can differ. Not all the time, but very often they do differ. I typically am not a late night person, I'm an early morning person. So if you're up late trying to get an item done, and you're like stuck or need help, you can go to this server and ask questions for anybody else that's live. And if I happen to be around, because you may ask during a time when I am, then I'll be there to answer as well. So I've given you a couple links here. One is to an article that just talks about what is Discord, because many people may have not heard of this. There are many ways to real time chat in our world. Skype, Slack is another one. Microsoft Teams is another one. I almost use Teams, but for a lot of different reasons, after considering it, I've decided I'm going to use Discord. So if you want to know more about it, because if you're into gaming, you may have heard of this already, but I'm using it for our communications, okay? Our real time communications. This is when you want to ask questions, as I said before. So, why do you join? Well, I've already talked about it, but just to reiterate, it's like if you have a question, you want to get a real time answer. And what I like about this system is that you can have it on your desktop or on your mobile devices. It supports all the major desktops and all the major mobile as a mobile for all major phones, which basically means iOS and Android. So, but you can also use it on your desktop. The reason I like it here as well is that I carry it around with me. And so if I am available at a time you ask a question, I happen to have my phone on me, I can answer that. And I just think it makes more sense, right? So here's what you're going to do. For your particular, whatever class you're taking, this link may be a different URL, but they'll be all the same. And what it's going to do is going to bring you into setting up your Discord account. Now, if you don't have one, which I'm guessing many of you do not, you'll walk through this process. Okay. Now, I'm going to do something, and if you've not heard of this, called the incognito window in Chrome. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I could see what it looks like if you were joining um, had never had an account. So you'll set up a username, you'll continue. If you already have an account, you can log in. Otherwise, your username, then it'll step you through. Like I have something called FCC student, so I'll use that just to see what it looks like. Okay. The other nice thing about this account, and by the way, it's going to walk me through a little setup. I'm not actually going to do this piece, but ultimately, once you're, and it talks about keeping users safe, which I like, absolutely is important. And what it's going to end up, and you can see it kind of down here, is you're going to end up in a channel on my Discord server. Now I'm going to, for a second, just stop this and show you what it looks like. Now, once you get in, again, this is depending on the class that you're taking of mine, you'll be invited into one of these channels. Now, the other reason I do this is so that after you finish my class and you want to connect with other people that have taken it or me in the future, this is a great way to do it. So it's a way for me to start building up a community of people who have taken my classes. So that's the process. I've hopefully given you a reason to check it out. You can also do it on your desktop, on your phone. I hope this video helps clarify for you why I use it and encourages you to get on. I will say if you're asking questions and I'm not around, then you'll hear from me the next day. Or if you're asking questions that kind of make sense to be in the group, I will say, hey, have you considered getting on the Discord server? Okay. So I don't make this absolutely required because I don't think that's appropriate as well. But I do encourage you to get on here just to experience the Discord environment and to connect with your other classmates. All right. Hope that explains it. I'll talk to you soon.